After the 9/11 attack that occurred on September 11, 2001, the US were completely justified in punishing those who were responsible for the tragedy and to prevent future attacks. The Taliban, which are a group of Muslim militants who live on the border of Afghanistan and Pakistan, were associated with Osama bin Laden and the attacks that he planned. Therefore, the US responded in such a way that they decided to invade Afghanistan due to the fact that they were not going to give up and allow their country to be shattered. The only way that the US could prevent future attacks and war was to use Afghanistan as a base by invading the country. The invasion was an attempt to remodel the Afghan society. The attackers have caused so many problems and tragedies, despite the fact that 9/11 occurred because of them, but they also took away human and ethical rights from women and children, meaning that this shows how it goes against the complete opposite of the Enlightenment idea and how people should have their own rights and self-determination. Therefore, many people up to this day don't have much access to the justice system and education, so why would one not be willing to make a change and prevent this in the future? Therefore, the US made the correct decision in invading Afghanistan, considering the Taliban were responsible for many attacks and they have taken away many lives due to their bombs, killing teachers, abducting aid workers, and burning school buildings. On top of that, back in 2009, the Taliban forced many civilians into buildings to be attacked by the NATO. This is immensely incorrect due to the fact that they are using civilians as their human shields. How can one be used as a human shield? These are human sacrifices. Taking away one's life, families, and future is completely sickening and should be prevented. The invading troops were supported by the NATO, the North Atlantic Free Trade Organization, and the United Kingdom, Germany, France, Canada, Poland, Turkey, Spain, Romania, and 39 other nations helped contribute to the initial effort. More than 146,000 troops were sent to Afghanistan by these nations. The main rivals were the Taliban government in Afghanistan and the Al-Qaeda organization that were responsible for the 9/11 attack. Therefore, the US wanted Afghanistan to have a better and more stable government that will allow people, especially women, to have self-rights and to stop the violence. Furthermore, the cost of the war consisted of quite a lot. The total cost of the whole conflict was approximately $4.4 trillion. The US contributed in such a way that they were able to raise interest rates, raising taxes, selling war bonds, and etc. The US also spent around $470 billion on homeland security, allowing civilians to be safe and secure. Not to forget, they also spent almost $160 billion on medical care and disability for almost the 2 million veterans that took part in the war. Finally, almost two-thirds of the Taliban government collapsed, as well as many of the Al-Qaeda camps were ruined and destroyed. In the future, it will limit the terrorist attacks from arising. As a result, Afghanistan is occupied by the NATO troops, which will prevent and ensure that new terrorist groups will not cause any attacks. It will also ensure the civilians to be safe and protected. So if the US did not attack Afghanistan, none of this would happen. The Taliban and Al-Qaeda organization will still be taking away many innocent lives and destroying one's shelter. Many women and children will still have no rights and the freedom that they deserve, and on top of that, more attacks will occur. Therefore, the US in Afghanistan is justified due to the fact that they have finally put an end to this horrible tragedy that has been occurring by the Taliban and Al-Qaeda organizations.